What's going on, everybody? George Oberdorster, your favorite Southwest Florida real estate agent, coming to you from North Naples, Florida. Oh, day 81, Facebook jail. Yeah, kind of crazy. The funny thing is, I realized I woke up this morning and I didn't post yesterday's video, day 80, so I'll be double posting today already. I'm straight slipping. That's what happens when you have no caffeine in your body for the last 2 days. But anyways, today is going to be a busy day, no matter what, Facebook or not. I pivoted. I changed my marketing. It's crazy because, give you a little bit of a backstory, and then in this video you could tell me if you think Facebook is liable, yes or no, based on what I'm going to tell you of what happened. And yeah, it's kind of interesting. So I, for 21 or 22 months, solely relied on Facebook for paid advertising. I put all my eggs in one basket. And I shouldn't say I regretted it, but I found what was working using a couple different systems in order to amplify and templates for both buyers and sellers with Facebook. And it was working very, very well, to the fact where my ROI as a real estate agent was 1 to 5 on a baseline, more like 1 to 7, 1 to 8. Now, let me explain that to you really briefly and not go too deep into it, which I could do in another video. But for every dollar I spend, I was making minimum 5 back, but in most cases I was making $7 or $8 back, which is really good when it comes to being an independent contractor, a small business owner, because usually most small businesses, especially ones that don't sell services, but they actually sell products, are lucky to make 1 to 2, 1 to 3, or 3 to 1 ratios on their money. They only mark up stuff 100% or 150% or 200%. So now what a lot of people don't know and understand is, if those leads are that way, you know, sometimes some of these leads will take a year to nurture before they close. So there's work and time effort. So it's not just a slam dunk. Let me explain a slam dunk. I need to get something from Walmart. I go inside and there's 90% chance I'm walking out with a bag, okay? And I'm only there between 5 and 20 minutes, okay? That's a slam dunk. That's something where, you know, they have the systems in place. They have somebody put the product on the shelf. Somebody shipped them the product. Somebody put the product on the shelf. And in a short period of time, somebody took that product off the shelf, went to somebody that they're paying at the register, and then they leave with the product and they made their money in 5 to 20 minutes of me entering and exiting the store. Real estate is a completely different animal, because I recently, in 2020, had a young lady close on her home that was in my database for over 1,000 days. Okay, there's 365 days in a year. So that happened, and that was a Facebook lead, and it nurtured to finally close. I have 2 more that are over 1,000 days on my database, which hopefully I'll be closing out in 2021. But anyways, with all that craziness, going back to the Facebook debacle, you tell me if you think Facebook was responsible for this deal potentially not closing. Now, I will tell you there's a caveat, which I'll be transparent, and I know a little bit more about this other company, which I'll talk about. So I have documented on my phone that I received a text on December 9th. Hey, it's so-and-so. And by the way, we're Facebook friends. And we actually first met on Nextdoor. And then she requested me on Facebook. So it was the other person requesting me on Facebook. And we interacted and we talked on Facebook about real estate, about our community that we both live in, same community. Anyways, with all that, she then says, hey, I haven't seen you on Facebook. I tried reaching out to you. I had to track down your information. So she searched my name, found me on Google or Bing or, any other outlet, and then got my phone number and texted me. So I said, no, I've been in Facebook jail for 24 hours. I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, I'm trying to get back in. Looks like my account was potentially hacked. How can I help you? And she's like, hey, I'm looking to potentially sell, but I can't move until July. Giving me some details about the situation, which I won't go too deep into it, but it's one of those things that I then set up a exploratory, it wasn't even a full listing appointment, to go over and see her home, okay? Because appraisers actually look at specific homes over condition, updates and upgrades on a home in order to price it. Even though I live in a cookie cutter community, I'll do a video later about that, and all the homes on each street are the exact same. No two properties are the same based on condition, overall updates and upgrades, and also views. If you have a lake view, if you don't have a lake view, that plays a big role. So going to see a home is very important. I'm talking about, I've gone into homes and I've actually given the price before I've gone in there, and I don't like doing that, and my policy is not to do that any further. And sometimes it's worth 20 to 25,000 less. Sometimes it's worth 30 or 40,000 more. The issue is sometimes sellers will say, my home is this, and they make it sound like it's the nicest home in the world, and it really isn't. And that happens sometimes. And then most of the time, sometimes sellers don't know what they're sitting on. They're like, oh yeah, I've done some updates, but nothing too crazy. And then you walk in, you're like, wow, this place is really nice. That actually happens more than the other side, which is surprising. But coming back to the whole Facebook issue, is she then had to cancel, and it's fine, she had to cancel. And this whole time I was on Facebook, and on my personal page, but also on my business page, having over 10,000 followers, over 20% of my total following on social media outlets, I would post tips, tricks about real estate. That's how I got over 6,000 people on my Red Hot Naples page, because I give them value, okay? And it took a long time to get 6,000 followers on a business page, because Facebook is a pay-to-play platform. There is no organic growth like you find on YouTube or you find on TikTok and even Instagram. Unless you start doing one of their new gimmicks or their new options, it's hard to organically grow. It is almost this opportunity compared to everybody else's opportunities 3-5 times better or successful. So I kind of feel that my absence on Facebook led me to, now I'm going to tell you, I didn't get the listing. I didn't get the listing appointment. I didn't get a chance to go over to her house. So I followed up with her a series of 6 times over 4 weeks. Now, some people might be like, oh, I'm only following up with her. I am not hounding her, okay? As an agent, there's a difference between nurturing a lead and burning a lead, burning an opportunity, because you're constantly bothering them. Now, first, she reached out to me, which is always the benefit. Okay, so that's a warm lead. It's considered warm. They came out to me. It's not a cold lead. I didn't have to reach out to them. But then I did my job in nurturing, though I saw it. And then I was on the MLS one day. I'm like, I'm going to check the inventory. And I checked the inventory in my community. And sure enough, her home was listed under another brokerage who is our neighborhood specialist. And it drives me crazy because there are neighborhood specialists, because they pay almost $12,000 a month to have a 5,000 or 500 square foot office within our complex, which I've had multiple people say, George, you should take over that office. I would never even pay close to that price based on my value and what I offer. Where this localist specialist really doesn't really help the community as much as everybody things they do. And I could just give tons of examples, which again, I always tell people that, and agents sometimes will make themselves sound better than they really are. Well, then tell me why or how they had just 2 doors down in the same year, or in 1 year, 2 doors down had a much better home. Okay, and this is where I compare and contrast myself to other agents and brokerages, because again, at the end of the day, I conduct my business a little different. And before the pandemic, just before the pandemic, they sold, and there were 300 days on the market, or 230 days, I'm sorry, I haven't had my caffeine. So around 230 days on the market. They started the home price at $630,000. Okay, same exact floor plan as what I have, two houses down from the home I sold, on the market 230 days, and then sells for $505,000, being on the actual cul-de-sac, where mine wasn't. It was on the corner of being on the cul-de-sac, having a better water view, a spa, and some updates and upgrades, including granite inside the house, where mine didn't have any of that. No spa, no granite, not on a cul-de-sac, and mine sold for $545,000 on January 4th, and sold in 16 days with 47 people viewing the property in 16 days. Kind of crazy, right? So what I did find out, and I've been to a couple other people, these residential people have been cutting and slashing their commission, which I'm laughing, because that just goes to show that they can't justify their price, or what a majority of transactions are actually listed at in our Southwest Florida market. And I'm cracking up, because that's one step foot in the grave in my eyes, because they're paying almost $12,000 a month for a 500 square foot office, but they don't charge what a majority of agents charge in our Southwest Florida market. So maybe that was lucrative to her, but I already educated her, and I already told her, which I was very surprised. I don't know what the final answer is. Is it Facebook for her not seeing my engagement and talking and helping people? Or was it that she just went with a cheaper brokerage in order to sell her home? The funny thing is, I saw it on the market, and they couldn't sell for like 30 days when we only have 5 homes in our community for sale, which was very surprising. Then they went under contract, then they bounced out of the contract, and then they went back under contract a few days later. I'm laughing because, one, it took that amount of time in a hot market. I'm talking about this market in Southwest Florida is so hot right now. My last few homes, the longest was 16 days. The other ones, 10 hours, 20 hours. Like, homes are selling in hours, not days. So she had to wait an extra month, and whatever's happening is happening. But I wish her nothing but the best. I wish her nothing but luck. But is Facebook to blame? Do you think that me not being on Facebook and doing what I naturally have been doing for 8 years, which is helping people, I can't stand when people put just listed, just sold? That's garbage. So what I try and do is tell people stories without giving away too much information on the actual individual buyer or seller, keeping their privacy as private as possible, but talking about how the transaction went, what could have been better, and what sellers could do to better stage their home, or what buyers can do to better understand the market or disappointment if they get built or beat out by a multiple offer situation. Well, this video went longer than I intended it to be, but I hope it has information. Do me a favor, drop me a subscribe, show me some love with a like. It'll definitely help with the YouTube algorithm. And then finally, drop a comment below. Is it my fault? Is it Facebook's fault? Or is it nobody's fault that I didn't get this listing opportunity? Because really, it kind of eats me and it kind of burns my butt when nobody gives me an opportunity. See, if I go to a listing appointment and I give it my all and I show people my value, my marketing, my market knowledge, that's one thing. If they pick another agent, that happens probably about maybe 3 or 4 times a year. And I could really care less. Like, I get over it really quick and I laugh and I move on. But when somebody tracks me down, and this happens about 3 or 4 times a year, and then goes with another agent without giving me an opportunity, that kind of pisses me off. Because again, Why are you going to waste my time but not even give me the opportunity? See, me going on a listing appointment isn't wasting my time. It's what I do. But if you're going to call me and get information and then not use me, that's wasting my time. Today, uber busy day. In the next 40 minutes, I have a exploratory call. So it's the first call going towards a listing appointment. At noon today, I have a listing appointment in downtown Naples, small home. When I say small home, 1,000 square feet, big or small, I sell it all. And then around 4:30, I get to meet one of my previous customers out in Golden Gate Estates and see her beautiful home for a listing appointment. So I'm super excited. There's opportunities everywhere. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day, week, or month, or even year. 2021 is flying by, and I'm signing off. Day 81, Facebook jail. Come on, Zuck. Come on, team. I need to get back on Facebook, or we're going to have to figure something out, because I've spent way too much money, and you have my database. So, see ya!